All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered abroad. Greetings. This is the brother Ayawad Banashar coming back with a hopefully edifying video. And this video is going to be titled, You Gotta Know the History to Understand the Mystery. Or you gotta understand the history to know the mystery. You got people still confused about why Greeks were believing, right? When you go into the New Testament, 2,000 years ago, when the Lord came on the scene and gathered the disciples and apostles and the believers. All right, people still don't know the mystery of this. All right, because Gentiles and Greeks were believing and all of this. Well, what people are confused about is that these Gentiles and Greeks were Israelites that were scattered and lost, man. Or Israelites that knew they were Israelites, but they grew up in Greek customs. So I just typed in Greek in the search engine, and I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures. Acts 16:1, it says, Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek. It says his father was a Greek and his mother was a Jewess. So let's deal with this. His father was a Greek. All right. All right, this is history right here. All right, the history of the Greek and the Roman captivity of Israel, or really the southern kingdom, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the Jews. All right, and 2 Maccabees 6:1, it says, Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews, the Israelites, the southern kingdom, so-called Negroes, Jamaicans, and Haitians, to depart from the law of their fathers and not to live after the law of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So Esau, which were the Greeks, all right, turned southern kingdom away from the law, statutes, and commandments. It says, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. All right, because Northern Kingdom came over here to the Americas to get away from the heathens, man, because the heathens, as the law says, that they will turn you away from Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. So the heathens around about us are designed to turn us away from the Lord. That's why the Lord said, stay away from the heathens. All right. Hold on, let me cross the street. That's why the Lord says stay away from the heathens. All right, because they'll turn us away from our heritage, which is Israel, as being Israelites. So that's what they did. That's what Esau did in all of our, well, not in all of our captivities, but Esau turned us away from our actual nationality. Now, the heathens made us worship their gods, but we always knew we were Israelites. But the Edomites, the so-called white man, beginning with the Greeks, actually turned us away from our nationality. Instead of Judah, they call us African or American or nigger, Or instead of Ephraim, they call us Puerto Rican. Well, the same back here when they took us captive in Greece, when they was the Greeks. All right, and I'm about to prove it as I read. It says, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots and had to do with women. And that's what they doing in the land, man. Having gay parades and having orgies and doing all type of freaky shit, man. In the entertainment world and Hollywood and all that shit. These are the customs of Esau, man, the so-called white man. All right. And they taught it to us, man. They made us follow these types of ways. That's why our people are a bunch of damn freaks, man. Involved in orgies and they all sodoms, into sodomy and all that shit, man. And we learned it from the heathens. We ain't learned it from the Lord, because the Lord gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, which said don't do none of these things. All right. So it says, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. And you can, harlots is twofold. You got philosophies, which are harlots, and then you got women that are harlots. Now, you got men in Israel teaching false doctrines. That's harlots in the house of the Lord, Teaching that the MOTB is sleeping with white women, or the MOTB is Christianity or philosophy. When the mark of the beast is the microchip, the RFID chip. So these are the ways of the heathens. All right, the heathens don't know the Lord, man, and the heathens teach us their false ways whenever we're among them. But the Lord has a remnant that have been chosen from the beginning, they're going to come to the light, which is 100% truth. Meaning they're going to come out of the false philosophies that the heathens, that Esau put on us, and come back to our nationality in the truth of the Bible. From Genesis to Revelations, we're going to understand 100% of it, of the scriptures. But 2/3 of them have been given a bill of divorcement from the Lord, and they join a harlot with the Lord, which is false philosophies. It says, the altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbid. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. All right, so the Southern Kingdom went through a process of the Edomites, the Greeks, Edomites and the Greek, when they were the Greeks, of changing their nationality to Greeks, man. All right, so you got to know the history to know the mystery. Romans 1:16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach, for it is the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai unto salvation to everyone that believe. And when it says everyone, it's talking about everyone among Israel, man. Because it tell you in Psalms 148, Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20, the Lord showed his word to Jacob. All right, so if somebody writes you a letter, right, say a father writes a letter to his wife and 12 children, and the letter is to them, and he says, whosoever or all can have, I'm sending some money, or whosoever can have some of the money I'm sending. That's just talking to them, man. It ain't talking to everybody. This book, the Lord, anybody outside of the nation, nobody outside of the nation of Israel should be picking up this book, because it's not written to them. It's not given to them. All right, it's given to the Israelites, even the Israelites that's calling themselves by other nationalities, because of the captivity they were in. Right? All right, the Greek captivity. Beat the nationality out of the Southern Kingdom, but you had some of the Southern Kingdom that were still in the land of Israel, keeping the customs, and that knew that they were Israelites. And you had Southern Kingdom, so-called Jews, that knew that they were Israelites, but they had adopted Greek customs. And then you had Israelites that didn't even know that they were Israelites, because they were so far gone into the ways of the heathens. All right, just like over here in the Americas, man. We didn't know we were Israelites until the Lord put the Spirit on us. Revelations 11. I put the Spirit back in the two witnesses, which is the Southern Northern Kingdom, 12 tribes of Israel as a whole. And Isaiah 44, you shall call yourselves Israel again. And Ezekiel 37. All right, we would come back on one stick. The dry bones would get the breath put back in them. So that's what happened during the time of Abba Bivens. I believe back in the 50s. He preached that we were the Israelites. All right, and today that we're the dry bones live, which is us. When we was just thinking that we were just niggas and Africans and Latinos and Spics and Indians. We didn't know that we were Israelites. That's why we was dry bones. And when we found out, we became the bones lived. All right, we became alive again through this word, through the truth. All right. The same with the Greeks 2,000 years ago. The Greeks that believed they were Israelites, who would call themselves Greeks, or who was keeping Greek customs. I just read in the book of the Maccabees that they turned us away from the Lord, and told us that we couldn't even call ourselves Israelites, man. They did the same thing over here. You're not an Israelite no more. Your name is Toby, you know. And they taught us English and beat Hebrew out of us. They beat the Hebrew language out of us, taught us English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. So the same thing, man. It's called Hellenization. And you can look that up yourself, Hellenization. It says to the Jew first and also to the Greek. And people don't understand that when they say to the Greek, it's talking about Israelites that was following Greek customs and calling themselves Greeks. Romans 10 and 12, it says, for there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek. The reason why I say that is because they the same people. They both Israelites. They're just, one is an Israelite that know they the Israelite, grew up in the land of Israel, grew up in the law, and one grew up in Greece and followed the Greek customs and called themselves Greeks. But they still Israelites. So today we Israelites scattered among every nation, but specifically over here in America, we call ourselves Americans. We Israelites calling ourselves Americans is no different, man. They were Israelite calling themselves Greeks. But you got to know the history to know the mystery. You got to go back to the books of the Maccabees, which is the history of the Greeks and the Romans, all right? Because when you read from Genesis to Malachi, and then if you just go straight to Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Acts, and to the New Testament, and you skip the Apocrypha, you miss all the history of how the Greeks and the Romans even came on the scene, right? And what happened to the Southern Kingdom, and how they were told they couldn't call themselves Jews, that they had to call themselves Gentiles and Greeks, that they had to forsake themselves. They had to forsake their nationality and the ways of the Lord. All right, that's why the Southern Kingdom Jews that was in the land that was going off of the law of Moses, they didn't deal with the Israelites that were scattered, because according to the law, they were cut off, but according to grace through Yahweh Shai, they were accepted back, and they didn't want that, you know, because they were merciless. And they weren't even perfect, so that's why the Lord had a problem with them. He was like, you want mercy, but you don't want them to have mercy because they didn't grow up in the laws, but you're not keeping the laws perfect. So, you know, it's mercy is to the whole nation of Israel, but only the elect is going to receive that mercy, because only the elect are chosen out of the nation of Israel, because not all Israel are of Israel. Right, so this is Romans 11. And 25. It says, "For I would not, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery." See, a mystery is something that's not revealed. Is revealed in a it's like a riddle. It ain't told straight. It's the disciples said, "Lord, why do you speak to them in parables?" Well, the Gentiles believing is sort of a parable, a mystery, because people think that just because it say Gentile or Greek or Roman, even Paul called himself a Roman, but Paul was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. But he called himself a Roman. Why? Because he had Roman citizenship. So you had Israelites that had Greek citizenship calling themselves Greeks. It's no different, man. Just like we have American citizenship, call ourselves Americans. But we Israelites. I mean, it's simple. All right. But like I said, the disciples asked the Lord, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" And the Lord said, "It's given unto you, but unto them it is not given." So unto those that is not given to, they will not understand. It says that you should not be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own conceits. That blindness in part has happened to Israel, and 2/3 of Israel are blind, man. You got Israelites out there that say if a man is not dark skinned with woolly hair, he not a Jake. But it's Edomites that got dark skin and woolly hair, man. It's dark skinned, woolly haired Edomites out here, man. So blindness in part is happening to Israel. The elect have obtained, but the rest were blinded. 2/3 of Israel are blinded to in one some way, shape, or form. They don't. The Lord didn't reveal the truth to them 100%. You know, they might have part of the truth, but they don't have the whole truth. Only the elect have the whole truth. All right. And one of the mysteries of this truth is that the Gentiles and the Greeks were Israelites, man. That were lost. All right. It says, "Lest you should be wise in your own conceit, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. And so all Israel shall be saved." So it tell you salvation for Israel right there. It says, "As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob." So salvation is for Israel. It ain't for everybody. And people keep getting tripped up over this Jew and Gentile thing. Well, Jew ain't even the whole nation, man. Well, it is, but because it says not a Jew outwardly, but inwardly. So that's talking about all 12 tribes. But when it talk about the Jews, it's specifically most of the time talking about the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So it says no Jew, so when it talks about Jews are Greeks are believing, and Gentiles are believing, it's talking about the Israelites that call themselves by other names. All right, so that's pretty much the point. If you can't get it, you ain't of the elect. So, you know, it is what it is. We're not concerned with you, just the elect. All right. So hopefully this was edifying to the elect, and I'm gonna say shalom.